From IBMTV, International Broadcast Media, this is your report from Washington. We are 27 days away. Trump returned to the White House from the hospital yesterday, took off his mask, saluted, and then went inside without protection with staffers and cut a video. Trump said, quote, "We're going back. We're going back to work. We're going to be out front. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it." He continued, quote, "I stood out front. I led. Nobody that a leader would not do what I did. I know there's a risk. There's a danger. That's okay. And now I'm better. And maybe I'm immune. I don't know. But don't let it dominate your lives. Get out there. Be careful." End quote. The world collectively shook their heads in disbelief. Meanwhile, Trump's campaign, short on money and leadership as COVID spreads through his team, has pulled its advertising in Texas, Arizona, Iowa, and Ohio. Biden is capitalizing by hitting critical swing states and investing in longtime Republican bastions. Biden made his second trip to Florida in 2 weeks, swinging through Little Havana, a typically conservative area known for its staunch opposition to the communist government that Fidel Castro installed in Cuba. Biden heads next to Arizona, which hasn't voted Democratic since 1996. Even Bernie Sanders has resumed in-person campaigning. Sanders held rallies in New Hampshire and Michigan proclaiming, quote, "We need Joe Biden as our president," end quote. Biden is dramatically increasing his ad push, reserving more than $6 million in television airtime in Texas through the end of October. He also plans to spend $4 million on advertising in Georgia. In the polls, Biden now holds his widest lead of the campaign, according to a new CNN poll. Among likely voters, 57% say they back Biden and 41% Trump. Wednesday, at the vice presidential debate, Harris and Pence will be separated by a see-through barrier to reduce the risk of COVID transmission. The Democratic campaign requested the plexiglass shield between the candidates. The debate in Salt Lake City is the only planned debate between the two, who will be seated more than 12 feet apart. In other news, on the first day of the new Supreme Court term, Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito attacked the decision that cleared the way for the nationwide legalization of same-sex marriage. Thomas raised the religious liberty implications of the decision and wrote that the precedent allows courts and governments to treat religious opponents of same-sex marriage as, quote, bigots. The swift attack has raised anxiety that the court will try to chip away at the precedent and continue its trend of ruling in favor of religious conservatives. In world news, a top European Union official said that a rupture between the EU and the UK, without even a basic trade deal by the end of the year, is becoming even more likely by the day. The EU is furious that Britain plans to breach portions of the withdrawal treaty that were put in place to maintain an open Irish border, which has underpinned peace in Northern Ireland since 1998's Good Friday Accord. While negotiators have inched close to agreement in many areas during 6 months of talks, they remain deadlocked over European fishing boats' access to UK waters and over the level of support governments can give to industry. The EU is concerned that British plans to subsidize sectors such as technology will amount to unfair competition. Another reason to stay home: there are fewer places to go. In the latest blow to the beleaguered film industry, Cineworld Group plc said Monday that it would close 536 Regal cinemas in the US and 127 Cineworld and Picture House venues in the UK this week, affecting some 45,000 employees. Quote, "We cannot be in a situation where we lose more cash when we are open than we lose when we are closed." In a sign of the times, 3 men blew up an ATM in a Chinese takeout restaurant in Philadelphia while the establishment was still open, but were unable to get any cash. The men entered the Golden Chinese American takeout restaurant in Northwest Philadelphia, ordered food, then placed an explosive device on the ATM and walked outside as it detonated. The 3 went back into the establishment but were unable to remove the cash box. The 3 then fled, all without either a withdrawal or chicken chow mein for dinner. Finally, the current COVID death toll from Johns Hopkins is over 210,196 American souls lost and 1,044,633 global souls lost with no end in sight. That is your report for October 6, 2020, from IBM TV, International Broadcast Media, smart television for a smarter global community, from dictatorships to democracies around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'm Bill Trezevant.